Here interviewing Rob Ritziak. Sorry if I butchered last name.
Oh, it's okay. It's a
and
very common occurrence.
and Melissa and Marie, and they both are running this really cool organization called Virtually Broadcasting Together. And they basically have been doing all these live broadcasts of local artists and otherwise, um, and really pulling the artist community together in this time of apartness. And thank you guys for doing such a fantastic job with maintaining the community. It's really important.
Yeah, thank you. We've been working really hard to just give our community a platform where we can come together and still do all the things that we were trying to do pre-COVID and share our music and share our art and share our poetry and make the best that we can out of a situation that's really not super ideal.
Certainly. We started to see the isolation that was started to happen in the beginning of this crisis, just by nature of what was happening. And from the very, very beginning and the very, very onset of everything, we wanted to make sure that we were able to do our part to both help those that were succumbing to this crisis, and then also do our part to not allow people to fall apart from each other, not allow the community to separate. We felt that that was something that was very, very important to us from the beginning, even before the very concept of VBT first formally started to kind of materialize. And we're very, very proud to be bringing that right now and into this day.
No, it's really awesome how you guys have helped the artist community to adapt to this. And a lot of people probably would be discouraged at this time to be creating. So you've provided them with an output and a way to talk to each other. It's really cool.
Yeah, Rob and I kind of ran with our inability to ever relax, I guess.
That's about right.
So we obviously were friends before isolation, but when ISO started, we both kind of went to our own roots, and I started hosting. I'm a spoken word poetess, and I perform often, but I also, right before isolation started, had plans to start 2 different open mics and also some writing workshops. So when ISO began, I just kind of was like, all right, I'm going to do those things. I'm just going to do them virtually. So I started hosting weekly writing workshops and kind of bringing small portions of the community together digitally in Zoom rooms, much like we're doing here right now today. And just working with artists and sharing our thoughts. And Rob had seen what I was up to and reached out because he's got a background in broadcasting. And we kind of realized that we were doing the same thing in a little different levels, and it made sense to kind of link up and just keep doing what we planned on doing before during all this and make it adapt. So I'll let Rob tell you a little bit about his broadcasting history.
Yeah, so I've been involved in all aspects of production that I could ever really get my hands on, whether that was working on film sets, whether that was working in post-production, whether it's post-production video, post-production editing, post-production sound design. I've been a camera op, I've been a grip, I've been just about every aspect of production that you can think of. I've probably at least dipped my hands into or have at least tried. And so part of that journey into all aspects of broadcast, all aspects of production, and furthermore into broadcast, has been this kind of desire of wanting to provide that support and that foundation upon which great things and which the arts themselves can stand upon. Any time that we see a great film, of course it's the director, and of course it's the actors, but it's also the set designer, the costume designer, the lighting director, the camera, the DP, all the camera operators, all the crew members that are involved in every aspect of making this kind of production come to life. And then that, not just for film production, but that also applies to almost any kind of production. Even something as small as this is the person who designed this microphone, which allows me to currently speak to you and to the rest of the masses here at WUSB. Every small component of that matters. And that kind of desire to really, really be a part of that foundation for which the arts to stand tall and to be able to stand upon is what really, really led me to this pursuit of all aspects of production and furthermore into broadcasting. And then when this crisis hit, I really felt that the virtual landscape, and especially all of the changes that have taken place to really allow people to connect through that virtual landscape, um, I guess it just felt like it was like everything just kind of fell into place, and like this was time to like really put a lot of these changes into practice and see what I could do to bring people together.
Yeah, and I'd say you guys have done an amazing job of it. I saw one of the broadcasts and I was just blown away. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to catch many of the others, but I'm sure they were amazing because you guys are just doing such a great job. And it's just fantastic to see that.
Thank you. We we have been working really hard. VBT is very new. It literally began during isolation, even if we were working maybe independently on things that came together prior to that. But VBT is an organization. You know, it started as we wanted to host an open mic. It turned into let's make it, you know, like an 8-hour fundraiser. They were like, well, why don't we do 12? And then we were like, well, maybe we'll make it a 24-hour fundraiser. And then the traction from our open mic that we host every Wednesday was getting so significant that we were like, why don't, and we were just getting like so much feedback and so many people wanted to participate and we didn't want to turn anybody down. So the fundraiser became a 36-hour, 2-day event, and it has been a wild experience. And VBT is continually and organically growing during this entire process, just in creating the fundraiser alone. So
Yeah, every step of the
Uh,
way has been this like has been just a fully organic process of both the connections that we've made, and even just the events that we've been able to hold, and just the direction that VBT has started to take. Even beyond just the fundraiser itself, we had, like, for instance, we had a really great artist and friend of ours, Kendra Black, had reached out to us saying, "Hey, I want to put together a singer release party that's happening virtually. Like, can we what can we do?" And so we kind of sprang into action a couple of days before the event was supposed to happen, and we just got everything together, designed a bunch of overlays, figured out a production plan, got together somebody to interview her, and really made it happen. And even further than that, we've just been organically and continuously growing towards what we're doing can mean, and what VBT will eventually grow to be. And I still don't necessarily have an answer for that because it changes. It changes almost every day.
and that's the wonderful part of this, that we're in a new phase of creation. We're like everything is flexible and it's what you make it. And you guys are like evolving and building on yourselves, and it's just wonderful to see that it's come so far. And this fundraiser that you're setting up, um, truly amazing that this will benefit a lot of people that otherwise might be helpless economically because their livelihoods have been squandered by this whole crisis, you know. And it's just let's talk about that fundraiser. So that's going to be this coming weekend on
yes,
Saturday and Sunday.
we are finally there. This has been many weeks in the making, many sleepless nights and very long days. And we are 6 days away from the fundraiser. It is the 30th. I believe we are kicking off bright and early at 8 a.m. And it is going to showcase so much of the beauty of the local Long Island music scene, the arts scene. We're working with incredible sponsors. We have the Music Exchange providing some great visual art combined with music. We have spoken word poets. We have comedians. We also are very excited to be providing some interviews with first responders as well as frontline workers. And we're working with Movers, which is a fantastic community organization that is part of the island as well. And they are just this gorgeous group of networking individuals that have the same missions and values as we do to just keep things moving and keep things going. We're very excited to be partnering with them. Oh my gosh, there's just there's so many to like list off. All the beautiful people that we're working with. Theater Out of Bounds is going to be bringing us a very cool project. They actually launched specifically for this event a 10-minute playwright contest. So we actually have 10 playwrights, and they each created in 48 hours. They had a theme, and they had to write a 10-minute play in 48 hours, and we're going to be showing all 10 of those. Yeah, like there's really a lot of incredible stuff that we're going to be highlighting. So the plays, you're going to actually get to vote on those. We're going to be doing a pre-show on Thursday to kind of air some of them, and then during the broadcast you'll get to look at them and vote as well. We're working with Bridgeside Network, who is an amazing broadcasting company that is based out of Brooklyn and also deals with local artists. We're working with Celia Warner Productions, who is another incredible broadcaster that's been doing interviews. She was doing, I think she did an interview every day for 30 days while we went live. Wow. Yeah, she was hustling.
She hustled. I've never seen anybody be like, I need to dive into this and be doing as much as possible right now. And especially meeting her and seeing somebody like us that just felt that like this was the time to like really, really make an impact in the virtual landscape. It just, it's a really, really great relationship that we've been able to build with Celia Warner and her production company. And we're really, really happy to be bringing them to our 24-hour fundraiser. And there's so many other sponsors. I know we have, I don't know if Melissa mentioned it before, we also have Long Island Sound.love, which is a wonderful and amazing music media outlet and blog. They have a fantastic website, which is longislandsound.love. They put out articles like every month. They have like featured videos. They feature so many artists. They have an events calendar. They have so much going on about making sure that people are aware of the greatness that is happening on this island and all of the great and wonderful things that are happening within the music community. They've been up completely on top of it. We are so pleased and to have them as a sponsor for us. Additionally, we also have the After Hours Review as another media organization that's been sponsoring this festival. They're another great media organization. They do interviews, videos. They reach out. They do concerts. They take photos. They do everything you can ever imagine. And they've been also putting together their own live show. We were actually on their show a couple of days ago, and they actually it was a really, really great interview. They had a lot of great questions, but what made that interview so great was that they made up this game where they went to a bunch of random WikiHow articles. If anybody doesn't know who's listening into this broadcast, WikiHow is a website that people will go to when they're trying to learn things, and they have this like one artist that like it has to be this one artist because they're all the same layout and the same design, but it's all these like they do these like pictures on the articles themselves to kind of give you like a step-by-step process. So what they would do is they would just go to random articles and they would take the pictures out of these articles, and then they would give it to us during this interview, and we just had to guess what the article was about just by seeing this non-contextual picture. And
it was an experience.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's been really great to just work with so many of these local organizations. They've all been reaching out to spotlight us any way they can to get as many eyes on the fundraiser. The fundraiser is raising money for the Artly World Artist Relief Project. So the Artly World Artist Relief Project is basically, Artly World is an amazing arts foundation that's based out of Texas, and they give back to their local community through group arts, whether it's visual arts, whether it's providing community instruments for people to play with, teaching young children and the older generation how to interact from an artistic standpoint and just be free and express themselves. But when COVID hit, they decided they needed to do more than just in their immediate community. So they started the Artist Relief Project. And the Artist Relief Project is available across the entire country. Right now, they have over 55,000 applicants. That is an incredible number, and it is growing every single day. And we are working directly with the executive director, Rashawn. We speak with him often about ways that we can help get this fundraiser in front of as many people as possible so that we can raise funding for a whole lot of artists that need it. They are applicable as long as they're applicable if they have unfortunately, lost their income due to the COVID-19 crisis. And they're also providing resources in the future for the artists to learn how to exist in this new normal, learn how to do things like use Zoom and call into meetings and create websites and utilize, different social media platforms. Because a lot of artists, especially older generations or visual artists or people who don't necessarily rely on this technology to promote their work, who are just in galleries or, doing person-to-person meetings and networking, they need assistance on how to kind of adapt to this new normal that we're working with. So they're also providing resources for them as well. So we're really, really pleased to be working so closely with Artly World and the Artists Relief Project.
That sounds truly amazing, and what they've been doing with their community there is something that we needed here too. Like, so maybe after this is all over, it can be like a global movement in person to like actually create this cultural exchange. And the cultural impacts of this crisis are just beginning to be felt. So this is especially important to support our artists and the community as a whole through this. And the fact that you guys have joined up with this organization that's doing this worldwide fundraiser and that you're going to be able to help them is really awesome. And thank you guys so much for doing this. It's just impossible to express the gratitude that needs to be expressed. It's
Thank you. I mean, there really was, we were looking for charities, and we partnered. So we've been donating to Direct Relief every week for the fundraiser that we hold on Wednesday nights with our open mic. And we helped raise $800 to go towards Direct Relief because PPE and immediate medical equipment is very, very important right now. So that was also crucial to us. But it took us some time to find the arts charity that we wanted to work with for the day of the fundraiser, because we wanted to find a charity that was reaching out to all of the arts. Because one of the things that Rob and I first connected on when we became friends was the fact that all arts are equal. And, as a poet, sometimes we don't really get the same type of representation as a lot of other arts, as visual arts, as musicians. So it had always been really important for me to kind of work my mission as a spoken word poetess and eventually as a community organizer to kind of level that playing field and bring everybody together. So VBT was founded on many principles, but one of them was the fact that all the arts are equal. So picking a charity was difficult because we found charities that gave to actors. We found charities that gave to musicians. We found charities that gave to visual artists. We couldn't find a charity that was willing to help everybody. And obviously, the more people you help, the bigger your pool is, the harder it is to raise money. So I totally get the difficulty there. So when we discovered that Artly World was raising money for all disciplines of artists, that was really important to us. And that's how we came to work with them, because the community is important to us and everyone deserves funding. You're not any better than one artist or another because you paint or because you sing on a stage or because you run a radio show,
So true, so true.
Yeah, it was really, really great to be able to like work with an organization that their mission statement very much aligned with ours. That was very, very important for us, especially with the launch of VBT, that we wanted to not just do something and not just do great things, but we wanted to make it very, very abundantly clear what we stood for within just from the very, very start of like what's the first event we're going to do and how are we going to do it and who are we going to be working with. And so it's been really, really such a pleasure to work with Artly World. The president is one of the most passionate people that I've ever had the pleasure of ever working with. That just from the very, very first meeting that we had ever had with him, we just immediately felt that passion and that desire to hello in the back. Yeah, sorry. So we immediately just felt that desire and that passion within them, and that kind of transferred over to us. And so from there, it's just been such a pleasure, I guess. I know I've said the same thing a million times, but it really has been so wonderful to be able to push forward with everything that we're doing, to know that from every aspect of what we're doing and why we're doing it, that philosophical foothold has been rock steady and in the right direction. At least I would think in the right direction. We're trying our best, of course, but we aren't, because we are just two
Yes.
people.
No, it's a giant step in the right direction, and the fact that it's just two of you doing this is amazing, and it just shows what this technology has allowed us to do, and you guys are taking it and running, and it's awesome, and that you're able to help so many people with it is just amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot to us. And like Rob said, it is he and I physically running this. We are spending, anywhere from 10 to 14 hours a day and night working on this.
Usually more than
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
And that's just together in the same Zoom room. Independently, we're always working on fine-tuning things, plus what we have working in our personal lives, so there's a lot happening. But at the same time, it is a community endeavor. It is something that we could not be doing without our sponsors. Our sponsors are not monetary sponsors. They're not, they can donate towards the fundraiser, but they're not sponsors from a monetary aspect. They are sponsors from a volunteer aspect. They are sharing our posts. They are helping us with social media. They are putting out calls for artists and performers. They are running meetings to help us get in front of people so that the fundraiser has as many eyes on it as possible. So while from a organization and administrative and broadcast standpoint, it is Rob and I, just like everything else with VBT, this fundraiser is a community effort. We are looking to include, and we are including, we have over 20 local organizations that we are working with right now. We have almost 40 performing artists. We have we have tons of interviews. We have pre-recorded and live content that we're working on from all of these organizations. So we're going to be able to showcase all of that. And without a doubt, you can't do a 36-hour show with the two of us.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do that with just the two of us. And it's even further, being able to work with such wonderful and talented content creators and other sponsors and other organizations. It's all been about being able to showcase everyone. What we're doing is not just about sort of like just launching this organization or starting something for ourselves or being able to create a new culture and create our own kind of community, but we want to be able to utilize this platform that we're building to be able to really showcase the talent that a lot of these content creators have. I've worked, as I said before, I've worked in a lot of aspects of production, and social media has always been something that I've always been a little bit scared of. Just not that it's scary,
Same.
but that it's one of those things where to really, really engage with it and utilize it effectively, I always feel like I'm fighting against these like fake algorithmic walls that just kind of are there because of how many social media platforms are set up to kind of interact with. So we wanted from the very, very beginning to just break down all those kinds of algorithmic models and get people engaged with each other. So from the very, very beginning, we immediately started a Facebook group called Supporting the Arts in Quarantine, which was all about just at the very foundational level being, hey, if you're an artist, if you want to support the arts, like this is what we're about, and we want you to be a part of this. I think we're actually we have our live chat running right now. We're gonna post the link for that in the chat. From supporting the arts in quarantine, that eventually expanded to the outreach that we had with all of our sponsors and all of the meetings that we had with them. We had said, hey, so we want to represent you. We want to know how you want to be represented. This isn't just about what we want from you. We want to support you. We want to be the foundation upon which your brands and within what you're doing can truly stand upon. To break down those algorithmic walls. Stop it. No more.
No more freedom.
Freedom from those things.
Yes, and this technology has allowed us to sort of break free of that limitation that has been placed on all of us, and it's very amazing that the video chats can allow you to do both the audio and the visual, so that you can actually support everything: art, music, poetry, acting, really anything that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And oops, sorry. One of the other things that really helped kick off VBT as an organization was, like I said, I had some open mics planned that were supposed to launch just before, like right when ISO started. And I was like, well, I'm going to take these virtually. And in the beginning of ISO, I probably watched like 40 live streams a week of performances, of open mics, of watch parties. And they were great. It was wonderful to see my friends performing, but I was missing this. I was missing that interaction of talking in between sets, of laughing, of clapping, the applause, of supporting my friends. So I decided to host an open mic that was a live interactive open mic, and I held it on Zoom, and it went really, really well. And we had all artists popping in and out, and we had spoken word, and I encourage visual artists because they can either set up and paint live, or at the very least they can show their artwork to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And it went really, really well. And right after that, Rob was like, well, I can definitely work with you with that. And since he's an audio engineer, now everyone also gets to sound really great versus the kind of hopping in on Zoom, hoping your audio settings are right. They're going through and now they're mixed and sound wonderful, and they're coming out the other end even better. So we got that cool interaction of getting to chat between gigs and clapping and encouraging one another, and they all get to sound beautiful in the process. So I can let Rob chat a little about that.
Oh yeah. So basically, from the beginning of it, obviously, like Zoom very, very quickly rose up to prominence as being like this really well put together and already rock solid platform, because it was already designed for for working well with the corporate world. And and the corporate world does not screw around at all. It needs to be done well, it needs to be done right, it needs to be done easily, and there needs to be no bells and whistles around it. So they've already designed this platform from the ground up to be to have so many really, really great features and just really, really great accessibility to being able to connect with people and being able to interact with people. That's always been kind of the problem with a lot of means to digitally interface, is that it needs to be something that's simple to use, but has enough features where you can get better quality, or you can interface with a lot of different types of devices. But that is also simple to use, has an easy interface, and is accessible to people. It's that accessibility that's made Zoom such a great and amazing platform. Not even just with all the tools that it has to make people sound better, look better, do better, have better meetings, and all the great things that it does. And from the beginning, even just the virtual platform itself, being able to host events virtually, it takes away a lot of the logistical barriers as well, from being able to showcase different levels and different formats of content. There in the practical world, there's always the underlying struggle for being able to structure things well, and we have to factor in transition time, or they need this type of equipment to do this, and they need this amount of time to set up, and but it doesn't make sense for us to do this now because it requires a lot of planning, there's a lot of time. But since where I am right now, if you can't see if we're on the radio right now, but I'm in my studio right now. I'm in the most comfortable place that I could ever be, where everything's set up the way that I want it to, and my performance will sound the way that I want it to, because I've prepared in my own way, in my own setting. And so being able to interact with people in their own intimate settings, and for even just people being able to build their own kind of presentation of content that they want to be able to present, and being able to do that instantaneously, theoretically speaking, it gives people so much power, and it gives us the ability to really showcase different styles and different layers of content like almost instantly. And that's been why we've been able to just have so many different layers and styles of content for our 36-hour fundraiser on the 30th and the 31st.
And that's truly amazing that this platform has allowed you guys to do so much with it. It's revolutionary, to say the least.
It really has been an experience. And another really great feature that we're offering during the fundraiser that we integrated into our open mics, in order to help collect funds, we have a donation platform integrated in so that as people donate, their donations pop up on the screen. So you're getting to experience that interactive hype up, excitement feeling, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it's really fun. So if you go to our website, you could see everything at vbtlive.org. And you can find us on YouTube at tinyurl.com/vbtlive. And you could see our past open mics and our past broadcasts where we do show our, obviously our charity fundraising in action. I'll let Rob go a little bit into the back end workings of GDQ and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, so especially for the fundraiser itself, we were always very, very inspired from the beginning from this charity organization called Games Done Quick, or GDQ. They're an organization that's been very, very involved with in the speedrunning community. For those who don't know what speedrunning is basically the practice of attempting to complete a game, usually typically with video games, in the fastest possible way. So let's say, what's an example of this? If anyone's ever played Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System, that's typically a game that takes about usually about like 2 or 3 hours if you were to do every single, no, maybe not 3 hours, probably like 3, 4, 5 hours or so if you were to do every single level concurrently. But there are people that can beat the entire game in 4 minutes and 4 minutes and 16 seconds. If my brother is listening to this broadcast right now, he's gonna kill me. he's like, Rob, you should know this time.
Richard is judging so hard right now.
Rob the frame rules. Rob the frame rules. But basically, so the speedrunning itself is all about kind of this like pursuit of human achievement, of being able to like go beyond just the typical confines of what constitutes a game, to be able to like exploit these bugs in the code and exploit these glitches to really, really do it as fast as completely possible. So in their first year, they were able to raise $10,000 for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. This last year, they raised over $3 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation and for Doctors Without Borders.
What?
$3 million.
That is amazing.
And on top of that, being broadcasted, being streamed live, like concurrently, having a whole audience behind them, a whole production team, like every game that you could ever imagine that's come out recently, it's been a part of this event. And so they've been able to kind of pioneer this method of crowd interaction, of having a chat be very, very involved, of having donations come in and reading the donations and making people who are donating a part of the experience and a part of the broadcast itself. They've been pioneers of this kind of method of holding an event. And we wanted to be able to bring that to our event. We wanted to be able to not just get people to rally behind a cause, but to rally behind that interaction, to rally behind like the arts themselves, to be able to bring that support. Just through all of the efforts that GDQ has been able to do, they've been able to turn speedrunning as something that just existed on the internet, in internet forums and internet chat rooms, and turn it into something that people literally have made their jobs. For literally, that's their job, is to just go online and speedrun a game and interact with the community and create a community around them.
Speaking of rallying community, I know the radio guests cannot see this, but one of the fun things that also adds a lot of excitement to our broadcast is our live chat, which pulls all the chat boxes from YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook onto the screen so we can keep an eye on those. And we have quite a lot happening in it right now, including Rob's brother, who does in fact hear you.
He had wrote on the chat saying, Robert brother here, I hear you.
I hear you. And we actually had someone else say, Kai, who's absolutely awesome performer that we're going to be featuring the day of the fundraiser as well. They said they were really excited about being able to broadcast from their home because, and you'll see it the day of, Kai has like 20 keyboards in their studio space and like trying to break all of that equipment down and bring it to an open mic and perform and have everything sound the way you want is insane. And like, so the ability to just do what, what Rob is doing in his studio, what Kai is doing in their studio, and just have your space and here it is really great. So between being able to run your stuff from home, the live chat that gets everyone kind of interacting, the donations that pop up on the screen and get everybody hyped, we really like to think that we bring a well-rounded and exciting event to your computers and phone screens.
Indeed. And you not only surmount the logistical issues, but also like climate issues. Like maybe it's going to be rainy this next weekend, but you'll still be able to have the event because it's entirely.
Man, we don't care about no rain, no weather, no nothing. We
Yeah.
are.
It don't matter. Don't matter. But you know what? In general, the live broadcasting field levels a lot of playing field. It allows everybody a chance. It means you don't have to have money to rent out a whole venue. It means you don't have to be able to drive all the way to East Setauket to hit up the Velvet Lounge or Welcome Home to perform your work. If you don't have a car, if you're working 14 hours a day, if you have children, if you just don't have the money for an admission fee, all our events are free. I know there are some Zoom events out there that are collecting funds for donations or they're collecting ticket entry prices. Our open mic every Wednesday is no charge. We just want people to come and hang out and know that those barriers are equal because you're not worrying about travel and childcare and working late and trying to multitask 4 or 5 different events, because most of our friends definitely have 4 or 5 different events that they would be at on any given night. So it's leveling the playing field in so many different facets, and it's just been a wonderful experience.
And it's just so amazing that this has come out of this, It took a crisis, but it's amazing. So, we have about 8 minutes left. I'd like to give my fellow DJ a few minutes of time to prepare for their show. So is it okay with you guys if we end around 5 before the hour?
Yeah, however.
Yeah, that's however you are the boss. We are the acolytes. Acolytes? I don't know.
Well, hey, you guys know a lot more about this stuff than me. The amount of issues trying to get this, like I'm talking through a phone. That's funny. But anyway.
Yeah, well, even just Zoom having the functionality to be able to say, all right, you can do this through your computer or through your device, or if you want to literally make a phone call, like we will be able to have it's really, really is great to know that and to see that like it is just this wonderful program that has so many features and so many ways for people to like interact and for people to engage. And it's I almost feel like there's almost nothing that I've tried to throw at Zoom that it hasn't been able to do.
Yeah, it really keeps stepping up. I wish Zoom would sponsor us.
Yeah,
we're not sponsored by Zoom, but Zoom, if you're like creeping on us
in this thing.
I've been repping Zoom since the beginning. So, and I guess if we're getting ready to close up, I just want to remind people you can find us on all our social media platforms at VBT, Virtually Broadcasting Together Live. So VBTLive, you can find us at VBTLive.org. That's going to give you information about what we do, who we are, the COVID-19 2-day, 36-hour relief fundraiser at the end of the month on the 30th and the 31st, our open mic every Wednesday at 7. Well, the room opens at 7. We go live at 8:30. That's also on Zoom. We're broadcasted at twitch.tv/VBTLive. And we would love to talk to you, and you can reach out to us. And if there's anybody else who wants to chat with us before this fundraiser so that we can get as many eyes on Artly World's Artist Relief Project as possible, that would also be amazing.
Of course.
And definitely check out this amazing fundraiser, guys. It's going to be something awesome. So definitely tune in next weekend. And you said there was going to be a preview on Thursday?
Yeah, we're doing a pre-show on Thursday with Wednesday we're going to do the open mic, which is going to have some of our featured performers on the fundraiser. Also we're doing some improv, we're doing a little bit of comedy, we're doing some theater. That's Wednesday night for the open mic, and then Thursday we're featuring Theater Out of Bounds and some and their 10-minute plays. So we're going to start the first round of voting on Thursday night, and then you're going to be able to see those again Saturday and Sunday during the broadcast, which again will be at vbtlive.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this and calling in on Zoom. Sorry for the technical issues.
No, thank you for having us. This really means so much, especially to squeeze us in at such a late moment. It means the world. I don't know, Rob, if you want to close this out, if you got anything else you want to add.
Oh, I mean, you always have a way to be able to wrap everything up in a nice bow, Melissa. But I mean, I guess if I have anything else to say, there's a lot of really, really great performers, great acts, great sponsors, great content that's going to be coming up for this whole week. We really, really invite you to join us in supporting our community, to uplifting our community, to bringing people together through the power of broadcast with us here at VBT Live. Make sure to check out our open mic on Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of great performers. Even if you're just a spectator and you want to spectate along, we broadcast on every platform imaginable: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. If you want to get involved and you want to see what's going on, we are available to you, and however you would like to be able to interact with us. You can have fun in the live chat. It's a fun and rambunctious place where you get to post your emotes and have a bunch of fun with people. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to check out our pre-broadcast on Thursday, and our fundraiser is on the 30th and 31st of May.
8 a.m. bright and early.
Bright and early.
Awesome. I'll be tuning in. I hope all that are listening tune in. And thank you guys so much for calling in. We must go now.
Thank you so much.
It's been awesome talking to you. And definitely check out Virtually Broadcasting Together. They have a Facebook page. Go to it. Check out this amazing fundraiser. And everyone have a good night. We're going to sign off, and the next DJ will be in. Robin. And we're going to close out with Stevie Wonder's. This is, I believe. And if you stay tuned, you'll be hearing Robin's Nest with DJ Robin from 8 to 10. DJ Rocket. Sorry.
I love it. That's a good dance move. We do a lot of dancing at VBT. So.
Yeah, a lot of dancing.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for having us.